Hi there and welcome to your Yin yoga practice today. We're going to be focusing on the full body, a lovely relaxing hour just for you. So wear something a bit warmer, we won't be as active in this practice. And just start by just sitting on your mat, taking a couple of breaths. So our first position today is just going to be a Shavasana Variation. So lie on your mat, and remember in Yin yoga we hold the positions for between 3 and 5 minutes. So just let your legs splay open, put your hands wherever you like. I've got mine above my head, but you can put them on your belly, or you can have them down at the side in the more traditional Shavasana position. And just relax, tune in with your breathing, and just be still. That's a large part of Yin yoga, is just learning and practicing to be still. And we're just here for a couple of minutes. So we'll just start to invite moving back up very slowly. There's no rush at all, especially in between the poses in Yin. So bending the knees and coming up really, really slowly. So what we're going to do now is we're going to come on to our hands and our knees. And we're going to do our puppy dog pose, or melting heart pose. So you're keeping your hips above those knees there. Now remember, in Yin yoga you can use props as well. You can put blocks under your head if you like. You can put a bolster under your head as well, because we are here for 4 or 5 minutes, so you have to be comfortable whilst working towards an edge. So you should be feeling a stretch, but nothing uncomfortable at all. So feeling your chest coming towards the floor. Head might be on the floor, chin might be on the floor, or you might be on a block or a bolster. Here we are targeting the shoulders and the front of the body. So you'll find you will feel a big stretch underneath your shoulder blades here. And same with your knees, feel free to pad up your knees as well if you need to. And just settle in. Concentrate on your breathing, and obviously feel free to close your eyes as well. So we have about another minute left here, and although we are inviting stillness, we're looking for that nice calm stillness. Do feel free to move if you have any pins and needles, any sharp pain. Nothing should be painful. You feel you might want to go deeper at this point, that's fine. or come out of it a little bit, that's also fine. There are no hard and fast rules. So just settling in for the last few seconds of this pose. So just gently deepening your breath and really slowly coming out of the pose. Now, what you do between poses is up to you. You can come to your hands and knees and simply just stay there and feel the feeling coming rushing back into those bits that have been stretched. Or I'm sitting back in my heels, having a wee stretch. A lovely wee shoulder stretch is nice after this one as well. Holding the arm across the front of the body. Just remember to do both sides, but it really is up to you how you do this. The feeling that you'll be getting is called a rebound in between the poses, because they can be quite intense feeling. So just get all the feeling and movement and blood back into that area. So we are going to come down into Sphinx Pose now. We're going to be here for a full 5 minutes, okay? So a variation is crocodile, just like I'm showing you here on your hands. Or you can come up onto your elbows. Now you can have a 90-degree bend or putting them further out just like that. And you can put your head on a block. Please remember that you can rest your head on a block or a bolster, anything like that. I prefer not to have one, but it's really personal. And with your legs, they should be maybe waist width apart to begin with, but the wider they are apart, the less compression you'll get in your lower back. Closer together, more compression. So you will feel this in your lower back, absolutely, but there should be no pinching. And just settle in. And please remember that you can come back to crocodile at any time. And just find that nice stillness and feel the stretch up the front of your body. And in your lower back, you'll feel compression. And when we're doing yin yoga, we're looking to find an edge. That means going as far as you can to feel something, but it shouldn't be sore, it shouldn't be forced, nothing like that. Everything should be totally relaxed, apart from the area that we are working on. The more relaxed you are, the better. So another wee tip is to put your hands in prayer position at the front. Sometimes if you hand them flat on the floor, it can kind of feel like you're bracing a wee bit, and we don't want that. So another variation for you if you want, prayer position with your hands. And if you feel you want to go a bit deeper, you might have softened up a little bit by now, you can put your hands out into the side, forward a little bit and come up to seal pose. It just gives a little bit more of an angle in your back, but again, all different variations, and all the time trying to push your pelvis and your toenails into the floor. Just do what suits you. Not long left now in this pose. Starting to think about coming out of your pose now. Just really deepen your breath, open your eyes if they've been shut. And start to think about moving really slowly and in your own time. Sometimes it can feel like you've seized up a little bit in these poses. Back into tabletop again. Stay still if you want to feel the effects, or you can have a nice cat-cow. Get that spine moving again, inviting a little bit of movement, but these in between times are really, it's up to you. So next we have pose of a child, and the variation is entirely up to you. You can put your big toes together and knees to the side of the mat like I'm doing, or you can keep your knees together and you can put the hands on the floor next to the feet, so you're tucked up in more of a little ball. And settling in here for 4 minutes, and just feel that. Now if that bottom doesn't come back to the heels, it's no problem at all. You can put a blanket between your bottom and your heels, or a block, to make it more comfortable. And just relax your arms, stretching your glutes, your thighs, your hip flexors and your shoulders in this one. But again, if you start to feel the pins and needles, just back off a bit and come back up. Close your eyes, stabilise your breathing and relax. So we've got about a minute left here. You can go a wee bit deeper if your bottom's not right down. You can bring it down a bit further, but not long to go. So gently opening your eyes and slowly coming up, remember, and you can just sit back in your heels or come to tabletop and just recover from that. Really nice and slowly. You can sit up. I like to take a wee clasp of the hands and the chest opener here, but again, it really is up to you. You can sit in perfect stillness if you want to as well. That's perfectly okay. And we'll get ready to move on to our next pose. Just appreciating how your body's feeling in these in-between times. So we're going to be coming up to dragon pose. So I've put a blanket under my left knee, as you can see, because we're here for a few minutes. And you're going to bring your right foot forward to the outside of your hands. Okay, and where you rest your hands is up to you. You might be down in your elbows, that's quite deep, or you might be up like this. You might be up in blocks as well. I'll do a few variations to show you. Also, your foot can be in the inside of your hands, so it can be between your hands too. So settle in here for 4 minutes. And this can be quite an intense one, so just be careful with it. And you can play about your blocks. See, I'm going on my elbows here because it can be quite a lot on the wrists here as well. But really what we're concentrating on here is the inner thighs. So as long as you're feeling that stretch, don't worry too much about where your head and your hands and everything like that are. So as well as you loosen up, you might want to come down to your elbows. Or another option is, you know, if my wrists are getting quite tired at this point, so come up to the knee as well. As I say, it's the stretching between the thighs that's the most important part here. So as long as you're as long as you're not in pain and you're relatively comfortable, still feeling that stretch, then it's all good. You can also tuck that wee back toe in as well. Just do what you can to make it feel more comfortable for you. Remembering to try and relax and let go. So this is quite a deep stretch, so when we come out of this, really take your time, put your hands to the floor, gently move that leg back. Again, same rules, it's up to you what you do to come out of this pose. You might want to stay in tabletop, you might want to come to a downward dog or a few cat-cows, see what feels good for you. I quite like a couple of cat-cows in a child's pose as well, because that is quite a big hip stretch, so the child's pose is nice for bringing it all back in together again. So let's get set up for dragon on the other side. Right knee on a blanket if you like. Left knee forward. Now just make sure that knee's not coming in front of the foot, but make sure you've got a good lunge there as well. And again, you can be on hands, blocks, elbows, or you can be on top of that knee as well. And this side might feel very different, remember. So just settle in for the next few minutes. And although you're finding your stillness, feel free to adjust if anything is painful or uncomfortable. And again, when we're more than halfway through here, you might find it better to come up and put your hands on your knee. Just give those wrists a bit of a rest. None of this should be excruciating for you. You should be finding your edge and finding your stillness. There's 3 principles of Yin Yoga. The edge is one of them, stillness is another one of them, and the third one is time. You don't need to worry about time because I'm doing that for you, but as long as we follow those 3 principles, and it's a very internal practice, we're having to find that stillness and quietness, and you find that I don't talk as much during this practice either, because it's really an introspective kind of practice, turning inwards and finding that settling inside and some peacefulness whilst you're in the pose. So again, come out of this one a wee bit more carefully maybe than other ones. It's a big stretch. Cat cows, downward dog. You might want to do some hip circles. Whatever feels good.
If the knees are a little bit bent, you can move.
So next we're going to come into caterpillar pose. Again, lots of props and variations that you can use. You can use a blanket under your hips or a block, like me. And use any sort of props, a bolster as well on top of your legs. Now, when we fold forward in other styles of yoga like vinyasa, we keep the toes pointed up, we flex the legs. We're not doing that in yin yoga. We let the feet kind of do what they want, just relax the legs, okay? Because this is it's a kind of whole of the back of the body stretch. So you're just letting your spine curve over, which again can be quite unusual as well. Let the weight of your head bring your spine down. I'm resting on blocks here. You can rest on the floor. You can have your head on a bolster on top of your thighs if you want. But just be careful with your lower back in this one, okay? We're here for a few minutes, remember? So just find the stillness and feel that lovely stretch right up your spine to the back of your neck and on your hamstrings as well. So we've got about a minute left in this pose. Remember to make any adjustments that you need to make. You might feel a lot more loosening. You might want to take the blocks down a level if your head is coming down a little bit further, but it's not about how far your head is coming down, it's about feeling it in those target areas. So gently walking those hands back up from wherever they've been. Take your time. Give your neck a nice big stretch. Sit in stillness if you want, or I'm going to windscreen wiper my legs here. Ready for our next position. So this next position can be done in a variety of different ways. You can sit with your back against the wall and do it. Or you can lie down, cross that right leg over the left thigh and hold on to the left thigh for a thread the needle. Or you might know this as reverse pigeon. It's a little bit different because we're relaxing into it, remember. So remember, you can keep that left leg in the floor and just open up the right hip. You can hold on to the thigh or the shin. We are here for a few minutes, remember, so it might feel different to one you'd maybe do in a vinyasa or hatha class. And just relax. Big hip opener here for the right hand side. So breathe into it. Head and shoulders are on the floor. As I say, you might want to do this back against the wall, or you might want to sit up with your hands behind you with your legs crossed over. That's absolutely fine as well. And you can use a strap too. So we've just got just over a minute left here. Relaxing, softening that hip. Might be loosening up quite a bit by now, but just finding that stillness. It can be tough sitting here for a few minutes in the stillness. So just start to think about moving now, straightening the leg, doing whatever feels good, popping it down, maybe giving your knees a wee windshield wiper move, feeling the blood, feelings, everything coming back into the hands and the hips, and get ready for the other side, of course. So crossing the left leg over this time. You can stay in this position as long as you're sending that left knee away, and as long as you're feeling that. You can hold on to the thigh or the shin. Okay, so remember you're here for about 4 minutes, so get as relatively comfortable as you can. Feeling that big opening up into the left hip this time. And settle in, close your eyes. And you should definitely be feeling something. Yin can sometimes be confused with a restorative practice. Restorative yoga, you're not stressing anything at all on the body, you're just simply relaxing. Whereas Yin, we do want a little bit of stress on the fascia and the connective tissue in our body. We do want to be doing something, so you should be feeling it. If you're not feeling it, readjust. So we've got just over a minute left in this pose now. You feel you might be softening up. Hope nothing is going numb. Any tingling pins and needles, remember just to back off slightly. So starting to deepen the breath and thinking about coming out of this pose very slowly, remember, absolutely no rush. And again, your choice. You can sit in stillness if you like, or I quite like a windscreen wiper after it because I feel it just gets everything moving again after those big hip openers. YIN allows us to access a bit of a deeper layer of tissue because we're there for such a long time. Now the last one we're going to do is Baddha, which is reverse butterfly. So popping the soles of your feet together and put your hands wherever you like. Mine are just at my bottom here. But you can put blocks under those knees as well so it's not quite stretchy for you. Up to you. But remember, you still should be feeling it. Feeling the opening of your inner thighs. And just remembering to adjust the position of your feet if you need to. Quite a big thigh opener, this one. Just relaxing into it. This is our last pose before our Shavasana. So eyes shut, just relaxing and feeling lovely stretch. Not long to go now. So starting to think about coming out of the pose. Again, just help your knees up if you need to. Lift them up with your hands. Windscreen wiper. Stay in the same position. It's up to you. But just gently coming out of the pose and getting yourself ready for Shavasana. And remember to stay warm. Socks, jumper, blanket, eye mask. You might want to put a bolster under your knees or blocks like I'm doing. And you can also bend your knees in Shavasana as well. But stay warm. That's the most important thing, because we are lying here for a bit of an extended relaxation today. Get nice and warm and lie down and get comfortable. Final resting pose, Shavasana. So this is the chance we get for our body to be at complete ease. We aren't stressing anything in the body now. It's completely restorative, this position. Take your glasses off if you have glasses and just settle in. Give your body a moment to settle. Check in with yourself. What's going on? Does your body feel tingly, warm? It doesn't matter as long as you're just kind of mindful of that and letting your body digest everything that we've just done in complete stillness rather than running about and cooling down and recovering while we're doing something else. Just lets you completely concentrate from your feet right up to your head. So just settle in, and for the next few minutes just relax. So bringing the awareness back into the room, deepening your breath, just coming back into the room and maybe inviting a little bit of movement in your fingers and your toes, and maybe a wee bit of shuffling about of your limbs. Again, this is your practice, so it's whatever feels good for you. And just bending your knees, maybe having a big long stretch as well, but really taking your time coming up. So roll onto your side first of all. It's a good halfway house before sitting up completely, but do take your time before sitting up. So coming into a cross-legged seated position with your hands at your heart. I hope this practice heals and strengthens your body and your mind. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me. Please like and comment on the video, and of course subscribe to the channel if you want to get updates on all the new videos. See you later.